Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of The Third Degree. I'm Sid Rosenberg, and today I'm joined by Yahoo Sports NFL columnist, my good buddy Jason Cole, talking NFL. Jason, welcome to The Third Degree.
Good to be here, Sid. How you doing?
I'm doing very, very well, thank you. And off the air, before we started the TV program here, you and I were talking about Miami. You said, how are things in Miami? That's where we tape this program every single day. And boy, things have changed quickly. I thought that Bill Parcells would come here, Jason, change the culture, and eventually put a winning football organization together, but I had no idea that it would happen this quickly. This team's in first place and a legitimate shot here to win that division.
Yeah, they've had a couple of things obviously help. I mean, Tom Brady getting hurt and all the other injuries that New England's had, that's brought them back to earth quite a bit. But they're playing really basic, good, solid, fundamental football. And in this league, if you do that, you can make yourself competitive in a hurry. I mean, and it's a key thing to success. The other issue that's gone completely right for them is very, very few injuries. You know, Donald Thomas in the opener, and then now they lose Smiley and Greg Camarillo. But it's worked out, and then, they've had a weaker schedule here the last, 3-4 weeks that's allowed them to stay in that race, or maybe even propel them into a division title if they're able to beat San Francisco and Kansas City. It's been a fabulous story.
And they've got the Jets, of course, up in New York the last game of the year. Now, I spent years up at WFAN Radio in New York arguing with my co-host, Joe Beningo, who's the world's biggest Jet fan. He talked about Herm Edwards and Al Groh and this and that. And I always said this, if number 10 is healthy, no matter what the condition is, the Jets have a chance to win. And really, you look at the Dolphins' success, it's predicated upon the play of Pennington. Jason, he's outplayed guys like Brett Favre this year.
Yeah, he has. He's been terrific. I got to say this. I mean, I like Chad Pennington. I think he's a great regular season quarterback. But when you play against, championship caliber defenses, he's just too limited. I just don't think that he can make enough big plays. Unless you surround him with an all-star cast, I just don't think that he's going to be able to overcome the better players that he's going to face. I think that, he's going to get in the first round of the playoffs. It's going to be pretty similar way he's done in the past, 18 of 30, 150, 160 yards, not enough big plays. That's eventually what's going to happen. So to me, as good as Pennington is, and as much as he's a temptation to keep him there, eventually you have to make the break to a bigger-armed quarterback, a guy who can make those kind of big plays in the playoffs.
Well, I think they've got Chet Henne to do just that, and I tend to agree with you, and that is the conventional wisdom, Jason. But I will tell you that I sat at the Meadowlands when he beat Peyton Manning and the Colts 41-0. And if not for Herm Edwards getting really, really conservative and opting to kick field goals in games against Pittsburgh and even San Diego, Pennington had that team going into the second and third round of the playoffs.
Well, they never made it to a championship game, did they? They made it to the third round. They made it to the second round.
Herm cost them. Herm cost them that one year.
I understand. Maybe I'll buy into that a little bit. But, that's some arm injuries ago. I just think you have to play perfect football. I mean, I remember the year that they went to Oakland to play against a very good Raiders team, and the year that Oakland went to the AFC Championship game. And they just, when Oakland decided to take away Wayne Chrebet and Lavernius Coles, they Pennington didn't have a big enough arm to overcome what the Oakland defense was going to do to him, and that was before the arm injuries. Now you have the arm injuries. I just think it's really tough. Again, if you surround him with a lot of really great players, and they're great at running back right now, so they have a step toward that. So, they've got to really improve their wide receiver position drastically to make him effective enough in the playoffs to carry you that final distance. That's my opinion. Barring that, you do have to eventually cut the cord and make a change.
All right, fair enough. Jason Cole, Yahoo Sports. Now, Jason, Giant fans, should they be concerned here? As a Giant fan myself, I am not. The Eagles played like they were desperate. They got themselves a good win. The Giants, the whole Plaxico Burress thing, I refuse to use that as an example because the Giants were 11-1 when Plaxico was suspended and was a distraction. I'm not going to use Plaxico as a distraction, as an excuse. On this Sunday, the Eagles were better. But as a Giant fan, I'm not concerned. Should Giant fans be concerned?
Well, they should be from a football perspective. I mean, look, they'll get past, the Plaxico distraction, and, does Pierce have to go give testimony and all that. They'll get past that. That's not the biggest problem. From an X's and O's standpoint, however, when you take away Plaxico just by himself, okay, you can make up for Plaxico. But when you take away Plaxico and you take away Brandon Jacobs, then you start to have a problem. Because now you don't have a running back who forces the opposing defense to be in an 8-man front constantly just to slow him down. And you don't have that wide receiver who forces double coverages to come his way and also helps Eli when Eli gets into little bits of funks, which he's tended to do in the past. So to me, you've taken away two guys that the defense has to account for. If you take away one, you're all right. When you take away two, you have a problem.
All right, fair enough. Now, who was the biggest threat here in the NFC? I know Dallas just lost a tough game in Pittsburgh, blew a double-digit fourth-quarter lead, but they are 3-1 since Tony Romo got back. Carolina, 10 wins now, very impressive, and blowing out the Buccaneers on Monday night. Which one of those clubs do you think is the Giants' biggest threat?
Well, I got to say that Carolina, because John Fox, if we remember back to that playoff game where they shut them out, 23-0.
I remember it well.
Yeah, I mean, that was a brutal game for the Giants. But John Fox came up with a great scheme in that game, and I think he's got better players now, at least guys who buy into his system. Peppers is playing terrific. John Beeson, great linebacker right now. Good, solid secondary. Much better secondary, I think, than the team that beat him 23-0. Now, the other thing that Carolina has going for it, they can run the ball right now. They got two terrific running backs. I mean, I didn't think D'Angelo Williams was capable of this, but he's probably the most dominating running back in the league at this moment. Just in terms of the last 4, 5, 6 games, he's played terrific. And they put up 300 yards last night against a really, really good team in Tampa Bay. That's pretty telling to me. They're the top threat. Now, Dallas, if they can get their stuff together, yeah, they got a chance because they've got all the talent in the world. But what I was disappointed about them against Pittsburgh, not so much that they lost, but in the fourth quarter they had 4 possessions. They didn't produce a single first down. They had 1 interception return for the winning touchdown by the Steelers. And this is an offense that has Tony Romo, Roy Williams, Terrell Owens, Jason Witten. Even without Marion Barber, they should have been able to move the ball.
See, about 2 more minutes here with Jason Cole from Yahoo Sports on the Third Degree. The Tony Romo thing, I would tell people to calm down. I understand that he's got talent. I think he's got a lot of talent, and he certainly puts up gaudy numbers, but fumble snap against Seattle in the playoffs 2 years ago. Last year, did not play well in a playoff loss at home to the Giants. This Sunday against Pittsburgh, turned the ball over a bunch of times in critical times. So while we're all enthralled by Romo and the numbers and Hollywood and Jessica Simpson, this guy's really yet to win a big game.
I would agree with that, but I would, look, given the state of quarterbacks in this league, I'll take him.
Fair.
I'll take him and run with him because I think he will eventually learn to win some big games in big situations.
All right, it took Eli a couple of years. All right, another minute and a half here. Give me 3 teams in the AFC East, all deadlocked at 8-5 right now. The Pats, the Jets, and the Dolphins. Jets and Dolphins will meet in New York in 3 weeks. Who walks away with the AFC East?
Wow, as amazing as this is to say, as stunning, and I think you would have made a lot of money if you put $10 on this team at the beginning of the season. The Miami Dolphins win the AFC East because I think they're going to win out.
Okay.
I think they're going to go 11-5, improve by 10 games, tie the record in the NFL, win that division. I can't believe I'm saying it.
No, it's not crazy, although I do think Brett Favre and the Jets are going to beat him that last game. Brett's going to get that done. And finally, Steelers, Colts. Steelers at 10 wins. Colts on fire here. Who is the team, maybe Miami, who is the team right now that you think has the best chance representing the AFC in the Super Bowl?
To me, I mean, I still think the Titans are terrific, okay? And once they get their running game going, they're fine, and they're back sort of on the right track. So I still favor the Titans. But the team to watch is the Colts because I was looking at it today. Aside from 2 guys, Marlon Jackson and Gary Brackett, who are still banged up. Jackson's out for the year. Brackett's still a little bit banged up. This team is getting really close to being completely healthy. They've gotten the good fortune of playing some cupcakes here the last few weeks. They're going to get Detroit this week. They're going to roll up 10, 11 wins, get themselves in that wild card position. They have already gone to Pittsburgh and not only beat the Steelers, but they probably should have beaten them pretty badly if Marvin Harrison catches either one of those 2 touchdown passes that he dropped. To me, the Colts will get themselves going in December, get really hot, and most importantly, get very healthy.
All right, there you go, the Indianapolis Colts. They do look very, very good as of late. Jason, as always, buddy, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us on the Third Degree today.
Great to be here, Sid. Thanks.
Thank you. Jason Cole's interrogation is over, and so is this show. But make sure you tune into opensports.com each and every day, where the future of sports on the web is open. We'll see you next time.
For more great videos, check back every day on opensports.com.